Hey, what's going on, people? I'm coming to you from Toronto, Canada, and I'm going to be flying to Pittsburgh. We're going to be on the Air Canada airline, as you can see on the outside. Um, I love the paint job for this flight. One thing that'll be interesting is because it's nighttime, I'm not going to be using live time for the flight, but I will be using live weather. So if you see the sun in a spot that it's not in the current situation, that's because I'm using live weather, but not live time. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. Turn up the overhead lights. All right. How are you guys doing today? Love to hear from you. No smoking signs auto. Crew supply on. So yesterday I had a little bit of a mishap with I was trying to use a replay system that's embedded in the game FCR, and it kind of caused the feed to go crazy. So today I'm not going to do that, and hopefully that helps everything work well. Let's hope. And going to make sure that throttle's at 0. Double check those switches above. Yes, that looks right. Okay. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to quickly run the APU fire test. Okay, that's enough of that. Bring up the armrest. We're going to turn up our floodlights. And go to the flight pad. Alright, we're going from Toronto to Pittsburgh, so I'm going to load the aircraft. We're going to go to boarding and refueling. And
refueling truck is on its way.
let's see here.
Please don't load
Go
aircraft until
ATSU,
the fuel truck arrives and ask to
AOC
do it.
menu, flight init, and then init data request. Okay, fantastic. Init going from Toronto C YYZ to Pittsburgh KEIT. Okay, and flight number Air Canada ACA 4811. And our cost index for today is 30, and our cruise flight level is 30,000 feet. Okay. And for the flight plan, I'm just going to go ahead and put in our departure information. So it looks like we're going to be departing on runway 23, and we should be on the Betsy 3 departure, but let me double check.
Fuel truck
And
is
if
in
you want to
position.
know who this Betsy is, I have no idea, but
Please
she
don't
must be
load
Canadian.
aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Okay. Yes. So it's more, yeah. So it's more like Betez 3. And our transition is Erie, which makes sense. And so we've got that put in, and that should take care of things for now. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and open up the cabin doors in the back. And we've got the stewardess is getting the cabin ready, but on top of that, let's take a look outside. Man, it sounds like an airport today. Let's see what other aircraft we got. We got, it almost looks like an Etihad plane down there. A little bit quiet in Toronto right now. But it's a good day. It was a good day. Okay. So that boarding is going to commence here in just a sec.
Good morning.
I think think refueling should start soon. Yep. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go to MCDU menu, config, fuel, and that fuel is going to tick up to the amount of kilograms that we need. And in the meantime, we can check out the cabin, and there's people getting on.
Hello.
Ben Roethlisberger, followed by Jonah Hill with no hair, and then Ben Roethlisberger again. Great, fantastic. Alright, everybody's getting, and apparently no one has any luggage.
Good morning.
So this is gonna be a lighter flight, I guess, because
Boarding
it's
pass,
got any
please.
luggage. Oh, Canada.
Welcome on board.
Okay, so let's take a look here. It's not going to take us much fuel to get from Toronto to Pittsburgh. That's a pretty quick flight.
Hello.
I'm guessing, I'm going to guess 4,300 kilograms, and I might be off by a bit, but that's my guess, is that we're only going to need 4,300 kilograms. I have no idea if that's going to be exactly right, but...
Boarding pass, please.
Anywho,
Welcome on board. May I see your boarding pass?
okay, so that was a little more fuel than I expected, but that's fine. It's better to have more fuel than you need than less. So now that that's put in, I'm going to go to the flight plan.
Hello.
And when I look at this plan, it's pretty simple. This departure should end with Erie. Yep, it does. And then we really just need to put in our arrival information. So it looks like most likely we'll be arriving on the ILS for runway 28 left.
Hello.
And then we're going to be on the Jersey 5, but let me double check that.
This way.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so yep, Jersey 5 and
Hello.
the Y-Town transition. So if I can just clear this flight plan discontinuity, then just scroll down here.
Hello.
That looks right to me. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to init, and then I'm going to go to the fuel page. I'm going to send some more fuel information to the MCDU. I'm going to check the wind. So we've got a little bit of a headwind, which is fine.
Welcome
It's
on
not
board.
like it's going to affect us that much. And
Hello.
after I do that, I'm going to go to performance. This is the flaps 1 takeoff.
Boarding pass, please.
Let's calculate our V speeds. Okay,
Boarding pass, please.
1, okay. Here we go.
Boarding pass, please.
Fantastic. And now all we really need to do is put in the altimeter for today, which in Toronto, I believe the altimeter, sorry, let me double check because I want to make sure I have this right. So the altimeter is 2984 inches of mercury.
Hello.
Fun fact, even though Canada is not the United States, it still uses inches of mercury as opposed to hectopascals for their unit of measurement for altimeter. So at least that's one thing that the US and Canada can agree on right now. And there's no tariffs on altimeters. So anyway, let's take a look at what coverage we have above us. It looks like there is Toronto Center on 132.8.
This way.
Now, we haven't gotten any sort of clearance through the A cars, so there might be a little bit of an awkward exchange between me and Toronto Center where I'm going to be like, hey, I don't have my clearance, and they'll be like, hey, we don't necessarily want to talk to you, which is fine. They don't have to talk to me. I'm just kidding. They tend to be really nice. In fact, Toronto is one of the nicest controllers out there, to be honest.
Hello.
So I'm going to listen in a little bit on the air traffic that comes from Toronto Center
Hello.
and see if they're okay with a dweeb like me talking to them. And I'm also going to check again for the A cars. I don't see it. Alright, well...
Jazz 773 Toronto, number 1, the wind's 210 at 6, clear to land, runway 24 left.
24 left, Jazz 773.
Swoop 2525, climb level 230.
Land, flight level 230, swoop 25, then.
Okay, let's see, we're at stand Bravo 12, okay. Let me see what the most current information is for the Toronto ATIS. So that would be information X-ray. QNH 29084 and request IFR.
Jazz 838, contact with your
Pittsburgh.
airborne, the wind's 210 at 10, clear for takeoff, runway 23.
Contact with airborne, clear to takeoff 23, Jazz 83.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for an opening because the last thing I want to do is step on anybody's toes. Toronto Center, hello, this is Air Canada 4811, Airbus A320 at stand Bravo 12 at Toronto. We have information X-ray on board, QNH 29084, request IFR to Pittsburgh.
Air Canada 4811, good evening. You're cleared to the Pittsburgh Airport via the Beats 3 departure, Erie transition flight plan route, departure runway 23, squawk 2230.
Okay, cleared to Pittsburgh via the Beats 3 departure with the Erie transition, squawk 2230 for Air Canada 4811.
Air Canada 4811, thanks for the read. That's correct. Runway information is X-ray, altimeter 2, give me a call when you're ready for pushback.
I will call when ready for pushback. Thank you for the clearance, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so like I said...
Air Canada 197, contact Toronto Center now, 125.77.
Like I said, Toronto's very nice, really great controllers, very professional and willing to talk to a guy who literally just got on at 9:30 at night, so... really just great people. So anyway, so if I check the Bettis 3, I almost called it Betsy again. If I check the Bettis 3 departure...
Swoop 2525, contact Toronto Center 125.77.
Contact Toronto Center 125.77, swoop 2575, thanks for that, sequence.
Okay.
Departure, Jazz 838, passing 2,100 to 5,000.
Jazz 838, you're identified. Climb flight level, climb 15,000.
15,000, Jazz 838.
Well, if I read this departure right, we only climbed to 1,000 initially, which is the lowest departure procedure I've ever seen, but that's fine. And then we're going to put in our squawk that he gave us, which is 2230. And then, just going to double check that, yep, okay, we've got that. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start the APU. And alright.
Jazz 773, cross runway 24 right, turn right on Delta, say parking.
Stand by, Jazz 773.
Jazz 838, turn left, direct Oakville on course.
We've actually got some guys arriving,
Jazz 838.
which is neat.
And Etihad 205 Super, contact me once you're airborne. The wind's 220 at 9er, clear for takeoff, runway 23.
Clear for takeoff, runway 23, and we'll call you on departure at the 205 Super. Thank you.
Every so often at these Canadian airports you get a French accent. I haven't heard one yet tonight, but sometimes it happens. Like sometimes you actually hear people
73,
speak.
thanks for 139er after turning right on Delta Cross, 33 right Alpha and Alpha Kilo.
If you bleed on, external power off, beacon lights on, strobe lights
Across
auto.
runway 24 right, Delta,
And,
runway 23 right, Alpha and Alpha Kilo.
I'm going to tell GSX I want to get ready for pushback.
And on arrivals, good evening, Air Canada 1000 at gate 165. We're not going to be flying. We're going to need a taxi to maintenance when we push back.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Oh, Canada.
And that's Air Canada 1000.
Hey, for American 1000, stand 165.
Alright, Air Canada 165, give me a call when you're ready for pushback.
Yep, we're ready for pushback for Air Canada 1000.
Departure
Air Canada 1000, okay, turn the transponder on, just squawk 1000 for me, and push back onto lane 8, call ready for taxi.
Squawk 1000, push back on the lane 8, we'll call for taxi, Air Canada 1000.
I'm excited because we're going from Canada to the USA, which means that the tickets will be around 25% more expensive. Okay, so our tug is attached. In just a moment we'll be able to start pushing back, and if my chart is right, then our tail needs to go left. And I'm gonna dismiss this, and on Phoenix I'm going to dismiss chocks and cones, dismiss the GPU
Release
there.
parking brakes, please.
Release parking brake.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, so we're starting at will. My name is not Will, but I'm starting at will. So engine 2 is revving up.
Toronto approach, good evening. Air Canada 510 Heavy, looking for IFR to Montreal with X-ray.
Jazz 838.
This is engine 2, by the way.
standby.
Let's try to get as close as I can. And then if you go inside
Jazz
the
838
cabin,
for higher contact Toronto Center
you can
125
actually
decimal
hear the
77.
announcements.
North Carolina Center 125 decimal 77 Jazz 838 service connect.
Etihad 2055, stay passing altitude. Correction, Etihad 205, stay passing altitude.
Passing 2000 now for 5 Etihad 20.
Alright, so engine 2 is available.
Etihad
and one is
205,
starting.
you're identified, climb flight level 230.
Please be aware that your nearest
Continue climb flight level 230 Etihad 205.
lighting will guide you to an
Air Canada 510 Toronto, you're cleared to Montreal Trudeau Airport via the Dead Key 5 departure. Miglo transition, flight plan route. Depart runway 23, squawk code 2223.
Okay. This has been an odd pushback.
Alright, we're
but
cleared to Montreal
whatever
via the Dead Key 5 departure Miglo transition, then as filed, runway 23, and we'll squawk 2223 for Air Canada 510.
Air Canada 510, the readback's correct. Information X-ray's current. Give me a call when you're ready for pushback.
Alright, we'll call for push Air Canada 510.
We have a good engine start.
Etihad
You can
205,
disconnect.
super turn right direct 50 on course.
Okay, so
Right direct Bisbee on course Etihad 205.
switch under. So we put our ignition switch back on middle. We're going to turn off APU lead.
894 Heavy, ready
APU
for
master.
with X-ray.
Air Canada 894, let's see here. You can push back onto lane 6 tail to the north and call for taxi.
To unlock
Lane
gear.
6, sail to north, we'll call you for taxi, Air Canada 894 Heavy.
Toronto Center, Air Canada 4811 is ready for taxi.
And, sorry, I missed it there. Air Canada 1000, you said you're ready?
It was Air Canada 4811.
Been removed.
Canada 4811. Okay, I didn't mark you down for the push. You pushed back already?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I think you said push at discretion, but maybe you didn't, and it's my fault if I heard you wrong.
Okay, Air Canada 4811. Let's see here. Runway 23. The information is X-ray. Altimeter 2984. Taxi out Alpha Tango, Alpha, and Hotel.
Runway 23, information X-ray, we have it on board, QNH 2984, taxi via Alpha Tango Alpha Hotel, Air Canada 4811.
And Air Canada 1000, we're now ready to taxi the maintenance.
And Air Canada 1000, do you know which entrance you want, Alpha Fox or Alpha Echo?
Alpha Foxtrot Echo, Air Canada 1000.
Okay, so
Air Canada 1000, there's a Jazz RJ just entering the ramp behind you, so swing around onto lane 7, give way to the Embraer, and then taxi Alpha Lima, Alpha, and Alpha Fox.
Yep, we'll taxi through lane 7, then Alpha Lima, Alpha Fox, Echo 1000.
Jazz 7773, if you're looking for gate 139, it's off your left side. You went in the wrong alley, but just go left on the edge of the apron.
okay, guys, so I'm going to sort of get my bearings here a little bit before we go
Okay,
any
Air Canada
further.
1000, the Embraer will give way to you.
So we're going Alpha Tango Alpha Hotel.
Jazz 7773 behind the Embraer,
Trying to
taxi back
get to
out lane
runway
7
23.
and apron edge to 139.
Alpha. Okay. Alpha Tango. Okay. Sorry, I'm having to check the chart. I always have to do this.
On arrivals, good evening, Air Canada 882, 1440,000, descending 111000.
Air Canada 882 Heavy Toronto, good evening. The information is X-ray, altimeter 2984, plan the ILS 24 left.
We got X-ray 2984, I'm playing ILS 24 left, Air Canada 882.
Alpha Tango Alpha Hotel. Okay. Oh. Alright. Well, I think I know where we're going.
Etihad 205 Super, contact center now 125.77.
Over to a center now, Etihad 205 Super, thank you.
So I gotta double check this. Alright. Okay, so we got some planes over here, which is nice. We're not alone. Alright, so I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Just kind of taxiing along to our runway in Toronto. The weather seems to be holding up really well so far, which is good. Should make everything a little easier. Okay, so we're coming up on Hotel, which is what we're going to take to the runway.
Toronto approach, Air Canada 510 Heavy is ready for push and start.
Air Canada 510. Let's see here. Make sure the transponder's on. Which gate are you parked at?
Can you say again, please? My pushback plug-in kind of spoke over you, sorry.
Air Canada 510. Which gate are you parked at? I don't, oh, actually I see you there now. You can push back, tail to the west, and call ready for taxi.
Alright, we'll push tail to the west, we'll call for taxi, Air Canada 510.
Air Canada 4811, contact me once you're airborne. The winds 210 at 9 are clear for takeoff, runway 23.
Contact you once airborne, cleared for takeoff, runway 23, Air Canada 4811.
Air Canada 882 Heavy, descend 8,000.
Okay, so I'm going to turn strobes
8,000,
on,
Air Canada 882.
landing lights on, takeoff lights on, and while we're gently moving here, I'm going to do a couple other things. So we've been cleared for takeoff on runway 23, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna park here for just a second while I take care of a couple other things. I'm gonna turn these transponder switches over to the right and set flaps at 1. And here we go. Turn up the engines to about 50%. Then release parking brake. Toga. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Lever climb is flashing, reduce. And then flap 0. Toronto Center, Air Canada 4811 is on the Betsy 3 departure at 2,200 feet, climbing 5,000.
Air Canada 4811 Toronto, thanks. Identify, climb 15,000.
Climb 15,000, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so we did what he told us to do earlier, which is to contact him as soon as we were airborne. And so now what we're going to do is just climb up to 15,000 feet, which should take us above these clouds if I have my estimation right. So it should get a lot brighter in just a second. So according to this departure, we fly the runway heading and then we wait for clearance to our waypoint. So we're going to let...
Air Canada 4811, turn left direct to Oakville on course.
Turn left, direct Oakville on course, Air Canada 4811.
Air Canada 882 Heavy, descend 4,000.
4,000 for Air Canada 882.
Okay, so we're going left to Oakville. And let's just go ahead and take care of a couple things. We're going to disarm spoilers, and then we're going to turn off runway turn-off lights, turn off taxi lights, and just kind of enjoy the flight, you know. A couple other things, make sure these are right, yeah. Let's go outside. So as you can see, we got the Great Lakes off to the left side, and we've got Canada below us, actually a golf course below us to be specific. It's a little snowy in places.
Air Canada 4811, contact Toronto Center for hire on 125.77.
Contact Toronto Center for hire on 125.77. Thank you, Air Canada 4811.
Good night.
Okay, so we're being handed off to a different Toronto controller, which is typical when we're on a departure. So we're going to go to 125.77.
Very good evening.
Let's see if I can get that frequency dialed. Okay, 125.77.
Good night, 265.
And I'm going to double check this frequency.
London Tower, good evening. It's the Canadian 621. We are looking for offer clearance to Edmonton. We have Juliet.
Canadian 621, London Tower, stand by.
So it's a little busy. There's actually a lot of planes in the sky right now. So might be a bit before we'll check in. I might try it. Toronto Center, Air Canada 4811 is inbound Oakville at 13,000 feet, climbing 15,000.
Canada 4811, Toronto Center, hello, climb flight level 230.
Climb flight level 230, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so we're going to climb up to 230.
Whiskey midfield on the full foot.
Foxtrot Tango Whiskey number 1, London winds, they're 1909, clear to land, runway 15.
15 clear to land, Foxtrot Tango. Toronto Center, VisiJet 72000 has a feeling in sight.
November 6372 Delta, Roger, surveillance services terminated, change to frequency 119.4.
19.4 for Central Delta this year.
FedEx 465, Toronto Center, good evening. Toronto Information X-ray, are you able, RNAV Yankee, runway 23 approach?
London Tower, VisiJet 6372 Delta, 10 miles from the east. Full stop.
Over 6372 Delta, London Tower, London winds 190 at 9. Altimeter is 2986, cleared left downwind, runway 15.
Left downwind 15, Central Delta.
So if you're a
Canada 4811 for hire, contact Cleveland Center 11987, good night.
Contact Cleveland Center for hire on 119.87. Have a great night, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so we're already being handed off to Cleveland. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Cleveland Center is awesome because they're still open at this time of night. So way to go, Cleveland.
Vision 75829, I have the field in sight.
Over 75829, surveillance services terminated. Keep the squawk. Contact London Tower 119.4.
119.4, 75829.
119.87. And there's a little bit of glare. Man, I ought to be wearing my glasses.
London Tower, Vision 75829, 12 miles to the east, inbound for a full stop, 75829.
South 1187, push inside the ramp to your discretion, call for taxi short Juliet.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to Cleveland Center really quick.
Southwest 1224, leave my airspace to the west. Chicago's offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom, Southwest 1224, see you, have a good night.
Cleveland Center, hello. This is Air Canada 4811. I am inbound Betis at flight level 218, climbing flight level 230.
Air Canada 4811, Cleveland Center, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so this gentleman has now cleared us to our cruise altitude.
Clear, we go ready for taxi now. Sorry about that.
And
Delta 1241, the wind 24005, RNAV to winners, runway 21 right, clear for takeoff.
Track this. Okay.
Number 9er Mike Golf, C Cleveland, information Tango is current, runway 24 left, taxi via Foxtrot Lima.
Oh, Canada.
Information Tango, Foxtrot Lima,
Sun Country 324, cross Jamestown at maintain, correction, cross Jamestown at maintain 11,000, the Buffalo altimeter 2990.
2990, Jamestown at maintain 11,000 for Sun Country 324.
Delta 1011 says hello. Hello to you as well. How are you doing?
Cross Kofax at and maintain flight level 250.
Just finished a flight. Where did you fly to and where did you fly from, my friend? Right now I'm flying over Lake Erie.
Consider FedEx 621 Heavy, flight level 30, correct to wish.
FedEx 5021, Cleveland Center, welcome.
Buffalo to Cleveland. Hey, we had a very close, our routes are pretty close today because I'm doing Toronto to Pittsburgh, so I'm talking to a lot of the same guys, man. That's awesome. Buffalo to Cleveland. That's a great flight. In fact, right now I'm talking to or actually, I mean, not at the moment, but I've been talking to Cleveland Radar in the last few minutes because whoever runs Cleveland Radar is open later at night than most other American controllers. He's a real lad. He's a nice guy. Were you flying the A320 or were you flying Boeing? What aircraft were you on?
Echo Lima, contact Buffalo on 126.15.
A320. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. It's my favorite plane. And it's my favorite because out of all the jetliners, it was the easiest to understand.
Delta 1241, radar contacts altitude. Delta 1241, climb maintain flight level 210, delete the speed restrictions.
Lake Erie is a bigger lake than I thought it was.
Sun Country 324, contact Buffalo approach 126.15.
We'll talk to Michael. 126, down 126.15 for
In fact, I didn't know this until tonight, but Erie is actually a VOR as well. I actually have a VOR named Erie for the lake. Which is where we're headed at the moment. Right now we're pretty much dead center over Lake Erie. So what you can see in the distance is Ohio. Or actually, I take that back. What you see a little bit of Ohio way off to the right, and then what you see right in front of us is Pennsylvania. Delta 1011 says it's smooth skies tonight. Yep, over the northeast, it's...
United 440, cross Emma at and maintain
really
flight level
great.
320.
Cross Emma at and maintain level 320. United 440 heavy.
Cleveland Delta 1187, coming short to Juliet now, it's next to you, right?
Delta 1187, information, Yankees, current runway 21 right, next via Juliet, Papa, cross runway 9 left on Papa.
1 right, Juliet, pop across, 10 right at Papa for Delta 1187.
Alright,
9 left.
I'm gonna need to get back in the cockpit. As you can imagine, we're gonna need to request, let me take a look at how soon we need to start descending. Okay, so we're about 30 miles out from our point of descent, but I do need to go ahead and put in some approach information into the MCDU. This is always a good thing to do.
Southwest 2382, lead my airspace, New York is offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Okay, 2996 inches of mercury at Pittsburgh. Temperature 26 Celsius, which is about 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
Number 4381, you're leaving my airspace to the west. Chicago is offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved. Have a good night.
Wind calm.
Alright, over advisory, appreciate the fantastic service tonight, we'll see you in the next one. Lindbergh 4381.
See it.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to climb to 4,000 on the go-around if we have to. And we're going to be at about 2,200 feet for the throttle reduction altitude. And that info is now put into the MCDU.
Primary 87, contact Toronto Center 125.77.
You got a good view of the night sky in your flight. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I need to do more night flights. I did a night flight to Charlotte a few nights ago, which was a lot of fun. I know it's technically night right now, but I love just doing live weather and then messing with the time a little bit just so I can see the nice paint job on the plane but at the same time, night flights are a lot of fun though. Really enjoy them. And especially, like, night flights have gotten better on Flight Sim 2024 because there's much more city lighting now on the new one than there is in the old one. That's the one biggest improvement, actually, is nighttime lighting. I think that's the biggest improvement between 2020 and 2024. Okay, so we're gonna need to start descending in just a bit here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start talking to them about that. Cleveland Center, Air Canada 4811 is requesting descent. Oh, did Cleveland Center...
Okay, 4811, send via the Jessie 5 arrival, the Pittsburgh altimeter 29906.
Descend via the Jessie 5 arrival, Pittsburgh altimeter is 29906, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to descend via the Jessie 5, which means we're going to go to 10,000.
Clear center, you're already off really short of runway 24 left.
Service center, hello, Southwest 1797, reporting short runway 28 center.
Because we got to be at 10,000 by CUDA, which is part of the arrival procedure.
49er Mike Golf, met the Cleveland wind 19008, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
So I'm going to take a look at our radar.
Clear for takeoff, here we go.
Southwest 1797, Pittsburgh, wind calm, runway 28 center, clear for takeoff, fly runway heading.
Okay.
Clear for takeoff, fly runway ahead is Southwest 1797.
Alright, so we're on our way down, guys. Cleveland, Delta 1011 said Cleveland looked amazing on approach. Man, I'm glad. Anytime Cleveland looks amazing, that's a big win for Cleveland. I love the way cities are lit up in the new sim. They just look amazing. I even did a flight into Manchester the other day, which is a very small. I mean, the airport is not massive, but the city lighting was beautiful. And you could see some of the big soccer stadiums that they have in Manchester, and they were lit up, and you could see them on the approach, which was a lot of fun. Had a great time. I forgot to record that one, I think. I should have recorded it, frankly. So, welcome to America, everybody. We have now crossed from Canada into Pennsylvania, and we're on our way to Pittsburgh. So just wanted to let you know that because of the tariffs, these tickets are going to be a little more expensive than if we would have been going from the US to Canada. But that's okay. That's a terrible joke. It's probably too soon. So what you see below you is the beautiful rolling hills of Pennsylvania. Although in this part of Pennsylvania it's a little bit flatter. There's not a whole lot of Appalachia in this area, but a little bit.
Southwest 1797 radar contacts altitude.
Altitude leaving 2,500.
Southwest 1797, turn left heading 170, vectors for climb maintain level 230.
170, vectors for climb, and climb maintain 230, Southwest 1797.
Oh, Delta 1011, you also recorded some landing footage. Man, one of these days I need to
Number 9
check
Mike
out
Golf,
your
radar
channel and
contact
see
altitude.
some of this footage, man. I want to see some of this.
9 Mike Golf, climb maintain, flight level 190.
Hello, 190, Mike Golf.
And last night, nobody was able to see my landing because I was trying that stupid replay software that was supposed to help my replays look better when I did it.
South 1187-1260-4 RNAV to winners, runway 21 right, cleared for takeoff.
RNAV to winners, 1 right, cleared for takeoff, all for 1187.
Oh yes, passenger tariffs are the worst of all.
Southwest 1797, clear direct Keyman.
Direct Keyman, Southwest 1797.
American 504, leave my airspace to the west. Chicago's offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Hold Unicom, American 504.
Delta 1011 said I'll mention you in the title when I upload it. Yes!
Delta 1241
Let's
cross
go.
Kirkhat, maintain 111000, the Buffalo altimeter 29990.
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I want to see this. Well, you can
Center, American 5653. Would it be possible for you to land our final at 1,000 lower?
American 5653 for direction of flight, I give you 340. Can you accept that?
Alright, we can accept 340. American 5653.
American 5653. So maintain 360 for now. I'll have lower for you shortly.
Roger, we'll hold at 360. American 5653.
Okay. Delta 1011 said the one I got was
440, leave my airspace to the west. Chicago's offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom, 122.8. Thanks for ATC, United 440.
Delta 1011 said I needed to flare more. You know what? That's not as bad as what I do because sometimes I flare too much. Honestly, I don't know how many times I've over flared. I haven't had any tail strikes, but I've over flared quite a bit.
Delta 1187 radar contact. Climb maintain flight level 370. Delete the speed restrictions.
370 delete speed restrictions. Delta 1187.
American 5663 descend and maintain flight level 340.
Descend and maintain flight level 340, American 5666.
Number 9er, Mike off. You're cleared direct to the field. Expect vectors to the ILS runway 32.
So we
Can
need...
Can I get that again?
Bed 9er, Mike off.
Affirm.
Number 9er, Mike off. You're cleared direct to Pittsburgh Airport. Expect vectors ILS runway 32.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and change over to the Pittsburgh altimeter.
Canada 4811, expect the ILS runway 28, correction, expect the ILS runway 28 left. The Pittsburgh altimeter, or correction, I need to get the 8 up. Bye.
This guy's a champ. He's making sure he's got this altimeter setting right before he tells me. I love this guy. And he's still...
Canada 4811, information hotel current of Pittsburgh, expect ILS 28 left.
We have information hotel on board. Expect the ILS for runway 28 left at Pittsburgh, Air Canada 4811. So Delta 1011 said it would cause me to touch down, then lift off the ground, and it did a bunch of touch and goes. Yeah, I know exactly how that goes.
Yep, leave my airspace to the west for air services. Terminate, frequency change approved.
Been there many times.
Appreciate it.
Jazz 838, leave my airspace to the south. DC is offline, radar services. Terminate, frequency
Okay,
change
so
approved.
what I'm going to do is...
Frequency change approved, Jazz 838, thank you for the service.
Okay.
So costs, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and put in some information about the ILS because this arrival procedure mainly relies on just a handful of waypoints. It's not the biggest airport in the world, and so there's not a ton of wiggle room in regards to where I need to be and where I need to be and when. Okay.
Delta 1187, clear direct to Ponset.
Okay, so we're gonna get down to, let's see.
Delta 1187, clear direct to Ponset. Delta 1187, Cleveland. United 360, leave my airspace to the east, New York's offline, radar services terminate, frequency change approved.
Okay.
United 360, leave my airspace, frequency change approved.
Here we go, guys. But Delta 1011, everything you're saying sounds totally normal to me.
FedEx 5021, leave my airspace to the south. Indy's offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Have a great one. FedEx 5021.
That's it.
The Latin VFR A320. Man, I feel like I'm learning about new A320s every day now. Like, there's so many.
Cleveland Center, Aerostar 6067124 south, Mansfield, direct brakes, 10,100, climbing 1,000.
Number 60671, Cleveland Center, radar contact, position altitude as reported.
Okay, guys. We're definitely getting closer, and one of the reasons I know that is we're finally getting to the hills that you see close to Pittsburgh, so I know we're in the vicinity, and Hinesfield can't be that far away. In fact, I think we're only about 20 miles away from touching
Number
down.
60671, Mansfield, altimeter 29905.
29905, Aerostar 60671.
So in just a second we're going to turn on our localizer because we'll be within that 20-mile radius of the airport and below 10,000 feet. We checked both of those boxes as of right now. Let's turn on that localizer. And that was too soon because that localizer distance reader was not working, so I'm going to give that just maybe just a few more seconds to get settled. Every so often, the distance reading on the localizer just will not work, and if that's the case, you can just use
Delta
Navigraph.
1187 Cleveland. American 5653, leave my airspace to the west. Chicago's offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Have a good night, American 5653.
I'm going to try turning on that localizer again.
Attention all aircraft. Cleveland Center will be closing in 15 minutes.
Oh wow. He's doing it. He's going to close up shop in just a bit. We better land soon. Which we are, which is good. Alright, this localizer is kind of going a little crazy, so let's just turn it off and turn it back on again.
Delta 1187, radar contact lost, altitude.
Okay. Alright, we're only about 3,000 feet above the ground.
4811, maintain 3,000.
Maintain 3,000, Air Canada 4811. So I'm going to be relying on Navigraph to tell me the distance to the airport because the distance reader on the localizer is a little bit...
Number 9 Mike Golf, center maintain 11,000. The Buffalo, the Pittsburgh altimeter 29907.
On to 11 south, altimeter 29907, 9 Mike Golf.
Delta 1241, contact Buffalo approach 126.15.
Buffalo approach 126.15, Delta 1241 today.
Okay, so now that
Southwest 1719, correction, Southwest 1797, leave my airspace. DC's offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Already in the top, good night.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to reduce our speed quite a bit because we're about to land. Man, these hills around Pittsburgh are much prettier than I thought. And I'm not trying to insult Pittsburgh, I just didn't realize they had such nice hills around their city. Alright, we're gonna go flaps 1. I hear Pennsylvania also wins a lot of awards for amusement parks. I really want to visit Hershey Park, ride a bunch of roller coasters someday. Alright, so as you can tell, we're reducing our speed quite a bit because we're going to be intercepting a pretty fast final course for the airport. And we're probably going to get vectored onto Halen or Pitts. I'm going to guess Pitts based on our current trajectory.
Sunny Night 360, I stepped away normal with kind of low.
That's 360 or New York airspace, they're offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Alright, thank you much, good night.
Number 9er Mike Golf, turn right heading 155, vectors ILS 32.
Rate 155, 9 Mike Golf.
Okay guys, we're about to land just a few minutes here. And I want to say we'll be vacating to the right. Yep, we'll be vacating to the right because the terminal, our concourse, will be on the right side. So what the controller is doing right now is giving me plenty of space to land. He's allowing me to fly at least 13 to 16 miles away from the airport, so that way I have enough room to make an approach without having to do any major maneuvers, which is really good. This way everybody wins. He wins, I win, we all win.
Number 9er Mike Golf, descend and maintain 6,000.
6,000, 9 Mike Golf.
And speaking of that approach, I think he's going to vector us in just a second. Okay. Do a few things here. Okay. Alright, so we're just kind of waiting on his cue. I think he's going to tell us something in just a second here.
Ready 11, turn right heading 0, correction, turn right heading 190.
Turn right heading 190, Air Canada 4811. Okay, so those were the words we wanted to hear.
Air Canada 4811, speed vectors ILS 28 left, maintain 3,000.
Vectors to the ILS for 28 left, maintain 3,000, Air Canada 4811.
Number 9er Mike Golf, turn 5 degrees to the right, descend and maintain 4,000.
5 degrees to the right, down to 4,000 on the Gulf.
Alright, so he's going to vector us in, which is my favorite way of approaching because then there's really no room for misunderstanding. I mean, I say that in air traffic control there's always apparently room for misunderstanding, but in this case I can tell this guy is really doing a good job getting us taken care of, so hats off to him. And you can see downtown Pittsburgh off to the right if you look.
Central aircraft, move the center will be closing in 5 minutes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to do vectors to Halen, or we're gonna go to Halen. Okay. And you can kind of get a picture of downtown.
Air Canada 4811, 6 miles from Pitts, turn right heading of 250, maintain 3000 till established on localizer, clear Alice, runway 28 left approach.
6 miles, sorry, can you say that again, Air Canada 4811?
Canada 4811, now you're 5.5 miles from Pitts, right turn heading 250, maintain 3000, clear Alice, runway 28 left.
5.5 miles from Pitts, right heading 250, maintain 3000, cleared ILS for runway 28 left at Pittsburgh, Air Canada 4811. Okay, now I understand it. And you know what? Now is the time that we need to disconnect that autopilot.
Clear to the Washington National Airport via the LID 3 departure.
Yes.
Gravy transition, then as filed. Climb via the SID. Departure will be on Unicom Squawk 216 tree.
Okay, here we go.
Delta 2030, read back correct.
Alright guys, so we've disconnected the autopilot, so I'm flying this manually.
Air Canada 4811, the Pittsburgh wind 2105, runway 28 left, clear to land.
Runway 28 left, clear to land, Air Canada 4811. Alright, so we've gotten that clearance. We're a little bit below the glide slope, so we're going to go up just a hair. Gonna up our flaps a little bit, and also we're going to lower our landing gear. And in the meantime, I'm going to turn on a couple lights that we need. Perfect.
Number 9, Mike Golf, turn left heading 050, vectors out 32.
Right, 050, then Mike Golf. Can we confirm now is right 050?
Negative, a left turn 050.
Thanks, left 050, then Mike Golf.
Okay, we're going to intercept this course, and I'm just going to stick with it. A little bit of a crosswind, but not much. I will say, when it comes to wind, it's easier to go from Canada to the USA than USA to Canada sometimes. Canadian airports, man, they got wind. They got real wind. Their proximity to the Great Lakes just creates a lot of wind, which is totally fine. I come from Kansas, so I should know a thing or two about wind. Okay, so suddenly the wind has completely and utterly changed, which makes sense. This is flight sim, so of course...
Number 9, Mike Golf, 7 miles from Weiler, turn left heading tree 50, maintain 4000 till established on localizer, cleared Alice, runway 32 approach.
That'll be right 350, maintain 4000 till established, cleared ILS.
Okay guys. We're pretty established. Now it's just a matter of steady hand. Alright, 500 feet. Getting a little push from the right. Just a little push. That's okay. That's alright.
Number 9, Mike Golf, you got the loc?
100.
We've got the low counter, Mike Golf.
50.
9, Mike Golf.
40.
The Pittsburgh wind 2105. Traffic arriving on the is over the numbers for the 28 left. Runway 32, clear to land.
Clear land 3-2, copy the traffic, none of my calls.
Okay, guys. Welcome to Pittsburgh. What did you think of the landing, guys?
Air Canada 4811, welcome to Pittsburgh. Take the right turn, Foxtrot 5. Taxi parking via Victor, cross runway 28 center.
Take the right turn, Foxtrot 5. Take Victor to and cross runway 28 center to the ramp, Air Canada 4811. Delta 1011, thank you, man. That means a lot. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let me check my chart, because he's telling me to take Victor. So, okay, so we're gonna take Victor, cross runway 28 center to the ramp. That's music to my ears. So based on what I saw on my instruments, I believe we touched the ground at about 100 feet per minute, which is well under that smooth landing threshold, I think, because I think the cutoff is 240 feet per minute, so we were under that, so I like that. I could have been a little closer to I mean, I was technically in the landing zone, but I would love to be a little bit closer to the beginning of the landing zone, so I'm definitely working on that. But it sure is good to be here at Pittsburgh. Go Steelers. I want to say Will Howard went to the Steelers in the draft, so I mean, I feel like they've got hope. Anyway, so alright, so if we're gonna take Victor to the ramp, okay, that's what we're doing here. See if we got anybody. Man, it's quiet. It's really quiet tonight at Pittsburgh. And yes, it is true, this is not live time, but it is live weather. I always have to explain that because people are like, why is there the sun in the sky when it's technically midnight? And it's really just because I change the time, but I don't change the weather.
Number 60671, Pittsburgh altimeter 2997.
2997, you're also 6061.
Delta 1011 says, I want to get a landing rating thing. Yeah, I've heard about those. Easy Jet Sim Pilot is a guy that I like to follow. He's a British guy who does a lot of VAT simming, and he's got one of those, and it looks awesome. I really want to try it, because then you can instantly find out the exact smoothness of your landing, and some of them will even give you a grade. I'm almost scared to download it, frankly. Alright, so we can turn these landing lights off, and we can turn runway turn off lights off, taxi lights off, and we're gonna pull into this spot. Alright, so now the main thing is I just want to get into a position to where this jetway will actually connect to the plane. Now sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the smaller the airport, the greater chance there is that it will not work. So let's try to do the impossible here. See if it'll actually connect. I have hope. I really do. Okay. That might be the sweet spot. We will see. In the meantime, I'm going to start the APU. Delta 1011, there's one in the marketplace, pretty cheap, but oh my goodness, I didn't even know they have one in the marketplace. Oh, that's really tempting. It would be nice to just get a solid number to know how hard my landing gear touched down on the ground. I think it'd be funny if there was a download to where if you touch the ground really hard, you could actually hear people in the cabin go, ah! That would be great.
Citation 1214 Cleveland Center, descend via the Ralph 3 arrival. Pontiac altimeter is Pontiac altimeter 2988.
And then, like, if you touch the ground really smooth, they'll go, ooh. That would be worth downloading, even if it costs $5. Okay, so the APU is starting up, and it's available. I'm going to turn on APU bleed, and I'm going to turn off, or first of all, I'm going to go throttle to 0, and then I'm going to turn off both my engines. The engines are off, and I'm going to tell GSX I want to deboard. And Trago Dugan Aviation. I've never heard of Trago Dugan. Is that like a Pennsylvania thing? Okay, let's see if this jetway connects. I believe in miracles. Do you believe? Let's see. Come on, Pennsylvania. Come on. Maybe it'll do it. Here, I'm going to dismiss this, and then I'm going to open up my cargo doors. Okay.
Still 2030, ramps and control, call short Juliet for taxi.
Okay. This is typical at smaller airports, but I don't think the jetway is going to connect. It's okay. It's alright. Like if you fly to like Atlanta or London or something, you're gonna have a pretty easy time connecting the jetway. But if you're flying to like, I don't know, Wichita or Oklahoma City, the likelihood that the jetway will connect to your plane goes down significantly. Delta 1011, and if you hit 10,000 feet per minute, you get Ryanair trumpets.
Number 9er Mike Golf, welcome to Pittsburgh. You can taxi FBO on the right.
What's funny is YouTube is full of really hard Ryanair landings. That's what's so hilarious, is they're known worldwide for slamming that runway hard. I think they do it on purpose, frankly. They're just trying to wake up their passengers. It's the Irish way. In fact, it happens so much on Ryanair flights, I feel like it's become sort of this running joke. Okay guys, so the luggage has now been unloaded. We're not going to be able to see the people because since this is a smaller airport, the jetway won't connect, so that guy's just going to keep playing his switch. And
Citation 1214, expect the RNAV 27 left to Pontiac.
So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this flight. I hope you guys have loved watching it. If you have, please subscribe. If you want to roast the landing and or if you liked the landing, just let me know either way. If you liked it and you want to roast it, then great. That's awesome. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you had a great 4th of July.